To be honest, that PlayStation showcase was incredibly disappointing. However, there was still some nice stuff shown off and announced. I'm personally disappointed as Sony had billed this showcase as one that would give some insight into the future of PS5. We didn't really get that. What we did get was a bunch of stuff we knew we were going to get later this year in Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy 16 plus a few other games. Which is fine, however, Sony really should have had a lot of what was shown off release as just standalone trailers and not part of a showcase. So I'll start with the bad and then move on to the good. Let's get into the video. So to kick things off, I have to go with the accessories announced late into the showcase, Project Q and the earbuds. The earbuds could have been announced in a press release as they are that underwhelming. They'll work with smartphones, PlayStations, and PCs. I may be into audio technology as a whole, but these are very underwhelming. The Pulse 3D wireless headset at least serves a real purpose in the Sony product lineup. I know very few gamers who actually wear earbuds, let alone use them for gaming, so that was disappointing in and of itself. Project Q, which is a remote play device for PS5 games, is a product that makes no sense whatsoever. Sure, the PS Vita was capable of remote play and that made sense, as the Vita was a standalone system and was getting its own games. The remote play was just a nice bonus. If Project Q were a proper handheld that would get its own dedicated games, it'd be worth fucking talking about. But as it stands, it's just a fucking stupid product that makes no fucking sense. Honestly, it's going to be a bigger flop than the Vita was. Basically, it's just a cell phone screen with a DualSense welded on. I'm a hardcore Sony fan, and even I'm thinking, fuck this thing. So what else did I dislike? Quite a lot, to be honest. I wasn't too into Marathon, which is a new game from Bungie. It's revisiting a concept they originally released during the company's earliest days for Macintosh computers in 1992. The game will be PvP and will not feature any single-player content. That right there kills any interest I would have had in the game. The return on investment with Bungie isn't great so far. Fair Games also looked like shit. This was the much-touted Jade Raymond game we'd been hearing tons about. It's coming to PS5 and PC at some point in the future, as we have no release date. The game just looked mediocre to me. The Talos Principle 2 looked weird, and I've never heard of the first game, so that one gets a no from me. I've also never heard of the first Helldivers. The second one didn't grab my attention either, so that's another meh. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 can go fuck itself. I think Five Nights at Freddy's is the most fucking overrated piece of shit franchise in gaming. Can we just fucking kill that stupid-ass series, please?
Normally, I'm not in favor of calling for the death of an entire series, but in this case with Five Nights at Freddy's, yeah, I'm right there with you, Colin. I've seen this series go on way longer than it should, okay? It should have stopped at 2 games, but no, we're already like, 5, 6, 7 games deep? No, it just stop. Just stop. Stop it, okay? Stop it right now. No more. This franchise is already it's already gone on too long. No, just no more, okay? Now, at the same time, I do have to warn you guys, there is actually a good joke by Colin that is coming right about now.
Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean looks nice, but the gameplay looks like a fucking hairball. Fuck this game. Revenant Hill has a nice art style, but I know I'm not going to enjoy that one. The VR stuff mostly looked like shit too. I like the humor of Arizona Sunshine 2, but if you build a game purely around its humor, you get shit like High on Life, which are good for all of 10 minutes, then they're just fucking boring. Doubly so if it's VR. Honestly, the shit they showed off during the VR segment of the showcase should have been confined to the VR showcase they had a while ago. I also hated the first Dragon's Dogma, and Dragon's Dogma 2 looks like hot fucking dragon feces. It's a pretty face, sure, but the combat is going to be fucking trash. I feel like I've shit on PlayStation enough at this point, so let's move on to the few fucking bright spots. It's going to be briefer than a Toronto Maple Leafs playoff stint.
At least the Leafs were in the playoffs, you ungrateful son of a bitch! Yeah, Blackhawks fan here. Not a good time to be one right now. Really not.
So what did I find good about this showcase? Granblue Fantasy Relink's new trailer and gameplay segment looked good, and that's definitely a game I will enjoy if it ever comes out. It's supposedly doing so this winter. The new bit of story mode for Street Fighter 6 was alright, but that part of the showcase feels like it'd have been better served if it just released on its own. Phantom Blade Zero caught my attention. At first, I thought it was going to be a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Is it a game I'll get at full price? Fuck no. But at least it's something to pick up when I work my way through my ever-growing mountain of shame, that is my backlog. Plucky Squire was a bright spot, as that's the kind of stuff Sony needs to add to its library of games. Go check out my video on why Sony needs to diversify its gaming lineup when you're done with this video. Foam Stars from Square Enix has my attention just from the visuals alone, and if it ever goes on sale for under $10, I'd consider picking it up. It honestly looks like a Splatoon knockoff. To be honest, I'm more likely to pick up Splatoon, and even then only if I had enough friends to play it with, as it's not my kind of game. The Final Fantasy XVI trailer was amazing, and that game is going to be fun. However, I won't pick that up until it's on a massive discount. Alan Wake 2 definitely has my attention, but what the fuck is it only being digital for? If you prefer physical releases like I do, that's a real burn. I also don't do digital games at full price, so this is another one I can wait to buy. This is what got most people excited, the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. We all knew it was coming at some point as it was part of the Nvidia leak. I've never played the Metal Gear Solid series for any length of time, and now that we're getting the MGS collection and this remake, I feel it's time I corrected that. Only sad thing is, this game isn't even going to be a timed exclusive, and given Sony built this as a mostly exclusives-focused showcase, kind of dampened the excitement for this announcement. The Ultros reveal trailer was kind of cool as well. It's a very colorful Metroidvania releasing for PS4, PS5, and PC next year. I'm sure this game will make my editor very happy despite the fact he missed it during the actual showcase.
I've since gone back and taken a look at it, and it is definitely the highlight of the show for me. I am really intrigued by that game. Now, I'm not going to go too much into details on my thoughts of the game, okay, because this isn't my channel. But all I'm going to say is really, really good stuff from Ultros. I am really looking forward to it.
Tower of Fantasy also grabbed my attention, but that's because I'm a fucking weeb. Watch this game be shittier than a Toronto Raptors team after Vince Carter fucked off to New Jersey.
Still salty about that, eh, Colin? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Actually, no, this clip is gonna tell you.
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
The final highlight for me was Spider-Man 2. I was already excited going in, and the fact we got a nice look at the gameplay was great. The game is going to be a ton of fun. It was also cool to see we'll get to play as Peter Parker in the black suit. Venom is one of my favorite characters in Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery because I'm a 90s kid. Seeing Kraven was also pretty awesome and something I wasn't expecting. I just wish they'd given a concrete release date for Spider-Man, or at the very least announced a dedicated showcase for that game. Overall, I feel like the PlayStation Showcase for May was a big waste of time. It didn't deliver the promise of showing us what to expect in 2024. Also, very few of what was shown was even Sony first-party stuff. The few highlights were related to Final Fantasy XVI, which is a few weeks away, and Spider-Man 2, which is coming out later this year, so big fucking deal regarding the drop of fall for the release date. We knew that already. Not only is next year looking pretty weak for PlayStation, it's looking like a weak year in gaming. Honestly, the only game that's coming out next year that has my attention is Tekken 8. But what did you think of the showcase? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. 2 of my previous videos will be popping up now. One's on why PlayStation needs to diversify its lineup, and the other is on some obscure PlayStation exclusives that no one talks about anymore. Until next time, keep blazing that trail.